The Middle Ages. The Middle Ages, also known as the medieval period, lasted from about 500 AD to 1500 AD. This time in history came after the fall of the Roman Empire and before the beginning of the Renaissance. The Middle Ages were a time of change and development in Europe. During the early Middle Ages, many people lived in small villages. Most were farmers who worked the land. They grew crops like wheat and barley and raised animals such as cows and sheep. Life was often hard, and people had to work very hard to survive. Many villages followed the feudal system, where nobles owned the land and peasants worked for them. The church played a big role in daily life during the Middle Ages. Most people were Christians, and the church provided spiritual guidance. Cathedrals and churches were built in many towns, and they were often the center of community life. The church also had a lot of power, influencing kings and governments. Knights were an important part of the Middle Ages. They were warriors who served the nobles. Knights followed a code of conduct called chivalry, which included bravery, loyalty, and respect for women. Tournaments were popular events where knights could show their skills in fighting and jousting. As time went on, towns began to grow. Trade increased, and people started to buy and sell goods. Markets became important places for people to meet and exchange products. This growth led to the rise of a middle class of merchants and craftsmen. The Middle Ages also saw great achievements in art and literature. Many famous works were created, such as epic poems and illuminated manuscripts. The architecture of the time included beautiful Gothic cathedrals with tall spires and stained glass windows. However, the Middle Ages also had its challenges. There were wars, such as the 100 Years' War between England and France. The Black Death, a terrible plague, swept through Europe in the 14th century, killing millions of people. The Middle Ages were a fascinating period in history. It was a time of both hardship and achievement. The developments in society, culture, and politics during this time laid the groundwork for the modern world.